Hello my scholars, you are welcome to my school YouTube channel and my name is Frank. In this video lesson, we are going to be talking about linear motion. So do not go anywhere, relax and we'll be right back. Welcome back to my school YouTube channel. So in this video, we are going to be talking about linear motion. So join me as we dive into the topic proper. So let's move to the next slide to quickly run through the objective of today's lesson. So at the end of this lesson, scholars should be able to explain the concept of linear motion, list and explain the parameters of motion, explain the concept of uniform motion, instantaneous speed/velocity, and uniform acceleration. Deduce the three equations of motion from a velocity time graph with initial velocity and constant acceleration. Explain the terms used in the equation of motion. Show on a velocity time graph the motion of a body with 1. Uniform velocity, 2. Uniform acceleration, and 3. Variable acceleration/instantaneous velocity. Deduce the distance covered between any time intervals on a velocity time graph. The last but not the least, solve simple problems on speed, velocity, and acceleration. So let's dive into it. So here we are going to be looking at the meaning of linear motion. So the term linear motion is used to describe the movement of an object from one point to another on a straight line. Although we might think of motion as simply moving from one place to another, but there is more to it than that. Okay, so motion can happen in 1, 2, or 3 dimensions. But in today's video, we'll be focusing on one-dimensional motion. This one-dimensional motion is also known as a straight line motion, and it's when an object moves along a straight path. And a good example of this is driving car on a straight highway. Okay, so when next you are driving on a straight highway, just remember that you are experiencing linear motion. In the next slide, we are going to be discussing about the parameters used to describe motion. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so parameters of motion. So the following are required to describe motion in a straight line, which are distance, displacement, speed, or velocity, acceleration, and time. So we are going to be looking at this one after the other. So we look at distance, okay, so that from here we can be able to differentiate between distance and displacement. Okay, so what is distance? So distance is simply defined as the gap between any 2 points in space, or we can say distance is the extent of space or length extended. Okay, it is denoted by x. Okay, distance is denoted by s and it is measured in meter. Now, distance is a scalar quantity. Okay, that means that it has magnitude, but it does not have direction. Okay, and distance is calculated as the product of average speed and time. Okay, the product of average speed and time. Okay, so let's look at another parameter that is also used in describing motion, which is displacement. So what is displacement? Displacement is the distance traveled in a specified direction. Displacement is a vector quantity, okay, and it is measured in meter, just like distance. Displacement, mathematically, displacement is given as velocity or average velocity times time. Okay, it is the product of average velocity and time, and displacement is denoted with the letter x. Okay, for example, if one travels a distance of 10 meters eastward, it is a displacement. Okay, and the reason for that is because displacement has to do with distance traveled in a specified direction. So in talking about displacement, okay, it is important to specify the direction of the motion. Okay, so let's move to the next slide to discuss about other parameters used in describing motion. Okay, and the next one is speed. So what is speed? Speed is simply the rate of change of distance with time, right? Now, speed is measured in meter per second. Okay, that is the basic unit of speed, meter per second. And speed is a scalar quantity, meaning that it has magnitude, but it does not talk about direction, does not have direction. So in physics, speed is denoted with the letter V. Okay, speed is denoted with the letter V. Mathematically, speed is given as distance traveled all over time taken. Okay, and I told us earlier on that we denote distance with the letter x. Okay, so that's why we have x over t. The x there represents distance traveled, while t represents the time taken. Okay, so below it we still have other concept. Okay, this completely describes the concept of speed. Okay, so let's look at uniform speed. So what do we mean by uniform speed? So uniform speed occurs when the rate of change of distance with time is constant. Okay, when the rate of change of distance with time is constant, we say we have uniform speed. Or when a body travels equal distance in equal time interval. Okay, we have what we call uniform speed. Then we also have instantaneous speed. Okay, so what do we mean by instantaneous speed? So instantaneous speed is the actual speed of a body at any instant during the course of motion. Okay, and the speedometer of a car can tell us about the instantaneous speed of the motion of a car. Okay, for example, if you look at let's say you are driving on the highway and you look upon, or you look at the speedometer of your car, the distance that you see on the speedometer at that point in time is what we refer to as instantaneous speed. Okay, then we also have average speed. So average speed is simply the total distance traveled divided by the total time taken to cover that distance is what we refer to as average speed. Okay, so the average speed is a better representation of the motion of a body not moving at a constant or uniform speed. So if you want to represent a body that is not moving at a constant speed or that is not moving at a uniform speed, you make use of average speed. So mathematically, average speed is given as total distance traveled all over total time taken. So let's move to the next slide to see other parameters used in describing motion. So we have velocity. Okay, and velocity is defined as the rate of change of displacement with time. So velocity is a vector quantity, meaning that it has both magnitude and direction. Okay, so velocity is denoted with the letter V, and mathematically velocity is given as displacement all over time. Displacement all over time, and we also have uniform velocity. Okay, so what do we mean by uniform velocity? Uniform velocity occurs when the rate of change of displacement with time is constant, or when a body travels equal displacement in equal time interval. We say we have uniform velocity. So let's talk about another parameter in this case, which is acceleration, right? And we define acceleration as the rate of change of velocity, okay, with time, or we can as well define it as the rate of change of velocity increase with time. It is measured in meter per second square. Okay, you must not forget that it is measured in meter per second square, and it is also a vector quantity, just like velocity and displacement. It is denoted by the letter A, small letter A. Mathematically, acceleration A is given as change in velocity all over time taken for this change to occur. Okay, meaning and change in velocity is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity all over time. So let's talk about uniform acceleration. Okay, so uniform acceleration occurs when the velocity, or uniform acceleration is obtained, okay, when the velocity of a moving body increases by an equal amount in equal interval of time. Okay, no matter how small the time interval may be, okay, it is said to move with uniform acceleration. So if the velocity of a body is increasing with time, it is said to be accelerating. But if the velocity of a body is decreasing with time, okay, we say that that body is experiencing retardation or deceleration. Okay, but deceleration is another way of saying negative acceleration, in the sense that in this case the body is decreasing with time instead of increasing with time. Okay, so retardation is also known as negative acceleration, right? Or you can say the acceleration is negative. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. So we have been able to cover all the parameters, okay, that are used in describing motion. We have seen their definitions, right? So we are going to be applying this definition in solving some simple problems on motion. Okay, so let's begin with question number 1, okay, and we are going to move over to the board to solve these questions one after the other. So let's begin with question 1. A ball circles continuously through a distance of 1.0 kilometer in 5 minutes. Calculate its average speed. Okay, so let's move over to the board to solve this question. But it is very important that when you are solving problems in physics generally, okay, it's good to write down the parameters that are given to you in the question. Okay, so in this question we are asked to calculate average speed, right? We are looking for average speed, and we know that average speed is equals to distance, you can say total distance all over time taken. Okay, so in that question we are given distance, okay, and we said in physics distance is represented with the letter x, so I'm using the x so that we'll get used to it. So, and it's given to us to be 1.0 kilometer, okay, and time t is given to us to be 5 minutes, right? But remember that during the course of the teaching I said the unit of speed is given in meter per second. But if you check here, what we have here, our distance is given to us in kilometer, not in meter, and our time is given to us in minutes and not in seconds. So it is important, okay, for us to convert the kilometer to meter and the minute to seconds, right? But remember that 1000 meter equals to 1 kilometer. So we can say that 1 kilometer equals to 1000 meter here, right? And remember that 60 seconds, okay, 60 seconds is equals to 1 minute, and we need 5 minutes, okay, and we need to change 5 minutes to seconds. So in that case we just cross multiply, so and that will be equivalent to 300 seconds, right? So now that I've gotten our parameters in the right unit, we just substitute it into the formula and get our answer. So let's put it here. So in this case we have 1000 divided by 300, right? So 0 we take out 0, this 0 we take this out. So how many 3 is in 10? Is 3 remainder 1. So in that case we are having 3. So let's just leave it to 2 decimal places. So remember to always write your units. If not, you are wrong. So meter per second. Okay, so the average speed of the boy, okay, so the boy's average speed is 3.33 meter per second. So that is how to solve question number 1. So let's quickly look at question number 2, because question number 2 here has to do with displacement. Okay, so a motorist passing a road junction moves due west for 8 seconds at a uniform speed of 5 meters per second. He then moves due north for another 6 seconds with the same speed. At the end of the 6 seconds, his displacement from the road junction is 50 meters. In what direction? Okay, so basically what we are asked to solve here is for us to get the direction of motion of the motorist, right? So in solving a question like this, we need to sketch some diagram, just a right angle triangle. Okay, we need to sketch that. Okay, so let's solve this on the board just like we did for the first question. So if you look at the first question there, if you look at the first statement, sorry, we are told that a motorcyclist passing a road junction moves due west for 8 seconds at a uniform speed of 5 meters per second. So in that first paragraph, we have speed, we are given speed, we are given seconds, but we don't know distance. So we can calculate distance since we are given speed. So we know speed to be equals to 5 meters per second. Okay, this is from the first statement. And we know time to be equals to 8 seconds. So we will look for distance so that we know the distance covered due west, right? So, but we know that speed is equals to distance all over time. right? And we are looking for distance. So in that case, we just cross multiply to get distance. So distance is equals to speed, average speed times time, right? So in this case, that will give us 5 times 8, and this will be equals to 40 meter. Okay, so the distance covered due west is 40 meter, right? So let's go to the second statement. He then moved due north for another 6 seconds with the same speed. Okay, 6 seconds with the same speed. So the time spent in the second statement is 6 seconds, right? 6 seconds for time, but the speed still remains the same, right? And we are looking for distance. The speed still remains the same. We are looking for distance, so we still do the same. So for the second statement, that will be 5 times 6, right? So in that case, that will give us 30 meter. Okay, so this 30 meter is due north. This 40 meter is due west. So to solve questions like this, you need to represent it with a diagram. So let's assume that this is the road junction, right? Using our 4 cardinal points, this is north, this is east, this is west, and this is south, right? So the first movement is 40 degrees towards west, okay? Westward, right? So this is our, here we have 40 meter. Then from there, it moves north, 30 kilometers. So we join these two places, which gives us the displacement, and it's 50 meter. Okay, so this place is 90 degrees, and here will be theta, right? So to get here, we simply apply our trig ratio, right? So we have opposite and we have adjacent. So in that case, we'll make use of tan theta, right? So in that case, we make use of tan. So tan theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. So tan theta is equals to 30 over 40. 0 take out 0, so that we have 0.75, right? So to get theta, we take the tan inverse of 0.75, and that will be equals to 37 degrees, right? So the value of theta here is 37 degrees. But remember, this has to do with bearing. So this is actually the angle that we need, not here. Okay, but the essence of getting here is so that we can easily find the size of this place. Remember that the whole of here is equals to 90 degrees. So to get what is left, we just say 90 degrees minus 37 degrees, and that will be equals to 53 degrees. So from here to here is 53 degrees, right? So we can say that the direction of the motorcyclist is 53 degrees northwest. Okay, so this is the direction of the motorcyclist from the road junction. Okay, so we have come to the end of the preview for today's video. Okay, and I believe you enjoyed the video. So if you want to enjoy the complete video, you can click on the link in the description below, and this will take you to my school website. There you have to subscribe to enjoy the complete video. And in the complete video, we also cover some other topics such as equation of motion, okay, how to derive the equation of motion. We also apply them in solving problems. We also talked about graphical representation of uniform and non-uniform motion. We also talked about motion under gravity and coupled with calculations. Okay, and I believe you enjoy today's video. If yes, please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly, tap on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we release the next video.